Hi, everybody. My name is Damien Brady. I am a senior cloud advocate for Microsoft, focusing on DevOps and MLOps. And I'm really excited to talk today about DevOps with two people who are intimately familiar with it, with the tool sets that can help you manage and deploy your applications. Please welcome Abel Wang, Principal Cloud Advocate and DevOps Lead, and Sasha Rosenbaum, who is the Senior Product Manager at GitHub. Welcome, both of you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for the invite.
Great. So I'm going to point out as well, I'm in Australia and we're in a great time zone for me, but I really appreciate you both coming on. I know, Abel, it's about 11:30 at night for you, and Sasha, it's 1:30 in the morning. Is that right?
I know, that's true, but it's never too late to talk about DevOps.
Yeah, wow, you're speaking my language, exactly. So why don't we just introduce ourselves a little bit, just so everybody knows what we do. So Sasha, I might start with you if that's okay.
Sure. I'm a product manager at GitHub. I quite recently actually came over from the Microsoft side, and so I help talk to the communities and build the product in a way that our customers and open source communities would have the easiest time working with it.
Great. And Abel, apart from being my boss, what else do you do at Microsoft?
My name is Abel. I'm a Principal Cloud Advocate and the DevOps Lead at Microsoft, and I lead a team of people. And what we do is we help everybody get into Azure using DevOps best practices. We don't care what tool sets you use. We don't care what products. You can use GitHub Actions. You can use Azure DevOps Services. You can use GitLab. Literally, we don't care. Azure is an open platform, right? So as long as you use DevOps best practices, that's what we're about. DevOps best practices into Azure.
And that's probably a key point and something that we can start with, I guess. Abel, there are a lot of different options out there. There's all of those ones that you mentioned. And from Microsoft especially, there's Azure DevOps and there's GitHub. And there's also a bunch of stuff in the Azure portal that you can use to deploy your application. You said that we don't care, right? What are the things that we do care about? Like, how do we choose those tools and those techniques?
You have to use the tooling that makes sense, right? But for me, what's most important is that you do use DevOps best practices, right? So I'm talking about things like continuous integration, continuous deployment. If I check in my code, I want automated builds to kick off. I want the build to run all of my unit tests to make sure everything looks good. And if everything does look good, I want automation to pick up my bits and start deploying them through my different environments, like my dev, my QA, UAT, even all the way out into production. And I would like things like approval gates where people can say, oh, that does look good, right? And of course, we can add more advanced features into that set as well. But that's basically what I want, is I want DevOps best practices to be followed when you push your code into Azure.
And this, I might throw to you, Sasha. This is one of the things that's been really popular lately with GitHub, things like GitHub Actions, which is starting to get really popular. Can you tell us a little bit about how that solves those problems, deploying your applications and building your applications safely so you can put them in production?
Yeah, so first of all, let me just follow up on the previous question as well. So DevOps is not just about automation. Automation is a huge part of it, right? But we also want to talk about collaboration and culture and sharing learning experiences and stuff like that, right? Not just having silos and throwing stuff over the wall. But definitely CI/CD and automation is a big part of it. And so GitHub relatively recently, November last year, I think we went GA with Actions. So they allow you to automate CI/CD as well as other workflows. So you can actually build an action for any type of workflow. So if you wanted to tweet from your Twitter account with Action, you could do that. And you can put that all together to run on GitHub hosted runners. So kind of in the same way that Azure DevOps Pipelines runs on hosted agents, you can also do that on the GitHub side with hosted runners. So you can basically run the automation in the cloud without worrying about, your build server and stuff like that. And we will worry about that for you.
And that's a really important point too. One of the key problems that people have when they're getting started with DevOps is the getting started bit, right? Do I have to set up a build machine and then a separate set of agents to do all that work. And in the past, you used to do that, but GitHub Actions seems to be a pretty much add a file to your repo or use the UI and you have a pipeline. Is that pretty much where you get started?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And our actions are also community-based, so they're open source, so you can create your own action. You can take an action from the community and and make some changes to it, or just use it as is in some cases. And you can also contribute actions to the community. So at GitHub, we're community-based for everything. So we kind of like that knowledge sharing and building upon each other's experiences. And yes, build servers, maintaining build servers is not just a problem for getting started, but also for maintaining them, right? Lots of people have hosted like their own build servers running, which are constantly like out of date, and they have to keep updating them and dealing with them and installing new versions, stuff like that. With Actions, you don't have to worry about any of that. And I will mention that you can also host runners on your own VMs if you really wanted something custom as well.
That's cool. So I noticed as well, there's been a whole bunch of announcements that came out at GitHub Satellite. There's obvious ones that I want to talk about, things like code spaces, but you touched on a point before about how DevOps is not just CI/CD. And before I go to you, because I know there's some really cool stuff in GitHub, I just want to talk about that concept for a little bit. Abel, CI/CD is the natural place where people think, this is what DevOps is. It's getting my code and putting it into production. What other stuff do we need to care about?
Oh, there's so much that you have to care about, right? I mean, I think when people talk about their DevOps journey, they usually follow a natural path. The first thing people worry about is, am I building the right thing sprint after sprint after sprint, right? So when you start looking at it that way, the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what is the right process that you use to build your software, right? So then you start diving into something like Agile. And then once you get that down, you start running into the common problem of, great, sprint after sprint, we're literally building the right thing now, hooray, but we can't get our code into production fast enough. And that's when people start looking at things like CI/CD, right? The next evolution, a lot of times they're like, okay, I can get my web front end into production with my automation, but what about things like my database? And we start worrying about database DevOps. How do you do that? And of course, these are problems that we've already solved. Once you figure database DevOps, then you start worrying about things like, well, what about quality? Great, I have these pipelines. They're fantastic. I check in code and it pushes it all the way into production. How do I maintain quality when things move this quickly, right? So then you start figuring out, how do I add quality into my pipelines? How do I build quality into the code that I write? And then above and beyond that, then you start worrying about things like, what about security? What about monitoring? So on and so forth. Ultimately, DevOps is all about continuously delivering value. So wherever you need to improve to add more value for your end users, that's what DevOps is all about.
And it's good if some of this, yeah.
Sorry, David.
No, go ahead.
I will jump in and say that there's actually no contradiction between speed and quality. So what we've discovered through research is actually the companies that deploy most often have least outages and least change failure rate. And that's some research that came out of DORA. So DevOps assessment reports. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the full acronym. But anyway, so Nicole Forsgren, who's the lead researcher for DORA, actually joined GitHub recently. So that's another great thing, because we're working on a few things, including GitHub Insights, that are going to help companies and teams get insights into improving their workflow.
And that is something that GitHub focuses on a bit, is making sure that they're getting quality, or you're getting quality into production as much as possible. And there's a few things that came out, announcements at GitHub Satellite, like advanced security. Is that one of the features? Have I got the name of that completely wrong, Sasha?
So there's a couple of things that came out for as part of advanced security. So one of them is code scanning, which is something based on CodeQL, or SAML, as formerly acquired a company. And basically, it scans your code for potential security vulnerability as well as potential bugs. And like everything in GitHub, we are making it community-based. So the queries for scanning the code base are actually open source. And so security researchers can contribute these queries. And then you can scan your code. So based on the research we've done, we have very low false positives, and you can now run code scanning in the cloud with GitHub Actions. So essentially, all you need to do is check in an action into your repo, which we will pre-configure for you, unless you need some custom config. And then basically, it will run code scanning on your repos and discover issues that relate to security problems. And then the other thing that came out is secret scanning. So we now have secret scanning for private repos. So we already had it for public repos, but now we have secret scanning for private repos. So you can leverage that to see if someone checked in like an Azure, account key or something like that. And then, so both of these are right now in beta, so you can sign up for preview, and we have quite a bit of signups, but maybe you can get in.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm not going to say I've never checked in a key before. I still get emails about it occasionally. We get those emails automatically. Been removed, but having things like that in your pipeline where you don't need to do the work to build those tools just improves your quality, I'm guessing. So in the background, we've actually set up a little poll, and if you're watching on screen, it should be a little bit below. There's a poll where I just asked how people deploy to production. It seems like a little over 50% are doing a full multi-environment deployment pipeline, which seems high to me, but I guess the people who are watching this session are much more across DevOps, I think, than the general public. There's still a fair percentage doing manual deployments and right-click publish, which we should obviously never do. What advice would you give to these teams if they want to get started, the ones who aren't doing these full pipelines? Where do you start, Abel?
Well, remember, DevOps is all about continuously delivering value, right? So what I usually tell people is find what hurts the most and just fix that. I think a common problem that occurs is people jump in and two things happen. First, they're like, okay, DevOps is hot. We need to do DevOps. Let's go buy some DevOps. And then they'll read some books, and then they'll decide, okay, we need to fix this, and everything in the world. And number one, you can't buy DevOps. And number two, if you try to do too much at one time, it's just going to turn into a disaster. So find one thing that hurts the most, right? I was recently at a customer site, and this is in 2020, virtually at the site. I wasn't physically at the site, but they literally were not using source control, which to me blew my mind. But we still have companies out there that aren't using source control. So for someone like that, what hurts the most? Well, clearly you need to get your code into source control first, right? Worry about that first. Let's do that. So it really depends on where you are at in your DevOps journey. Find what hurts the most, fix that one thing, and iterate over that.
Yeah, perfect. Sasha?
Yeah, first of all, I 100% agree. So there's a Stack Overflow questionnaire from last year, I think, and there was like 20% of people who don't use source control and like actually maintain their files and zip files and whatever. And so, good luck to us all. When people say DevOps is a solved problem, it definitely is not. But yes, you start from the basics, right? So source control is the first one, and then build. If we look on the ramp up of actions, and we actually have millions of users of actions monthly now, we see that a lot of that is coming from build pipelines. So kind of if you can automate your build and automate your tests, at least even the most basic unit tests that you can check in and run automatically on every build, it's going to improve the quality of your life essentially, right? And then you essentially, you look at what hurts the most, what wakes people up the most, or where do you spend 3 days on handoffs and stuff that constantly breaks or constantly requires a lot of communication, and you try to automate that as much as possible.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for joining me late at night for you two. There are other sessions at Microsoft Build DevOps with Azure, GitHub and Azure DevOps with Martin Woodward and Shanku Nyogi. There's a Q&A with Abel and myself and Jessica Dean, and I believe you have another session as well, Sasha.
Yes, so I have a session build on demand as DevSecOps on Azure, and I highly recommend Martin and Shanku's session.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So thank you, everybody. And remember, if you haven't had a chance, check out Microsoft Learn to get more information about certifications in DevOps or anything across the Microsoft family of products and services. And that's me. Aaron, I'm going to call back to you. Now it's time for our first live peer coding segment of the session. So Aaron, take it away.